Good morning, everyone. Mayor Wilder here from the City of North Canton. I want to thank you for your time to share with me. I'd like to bring you up to date on a few things that have been happening. A couple comments from the governor's office that they've been addressing since for the last month or so. And I just want to give you some updates on some topics that are coming to my office from citizens in our community. So first of all, again, I'd like to thank you for your cooperation, especially for this Easter weekend and our holy days. I want to thank all our faith-based organizations and communities in finding safe and innovating ways to help connect our worship services with their members, visitors to our community, and for their families over last weekend's holy days. And I know for other nationalities, your Easter may be a couple weeks away. So I hope you will have an opportunity to still worship in some way, shape, or form, all with understanding of our safeguards against reducing the spread of the coronavirus. Challenging times that we're living in, but I want to thank all of our faith-based organizations for their opportunities or for their willingness to reach out to our community. That means so much for our people. I'd also like to thank you and our community again for abiding by the public safety orders to help stop the spread of coronavirus. Again, I know we've been our stay-at-home order, and many of us are following that religiously. But I'm going to address that just a little later on in my summary of today's morning. Last week, I also stopped by and I visited North Canton Middle School, and I talked to the wonderful educators and volunteers that have been out there every day during the week providing pickup and go meals for our North Canton students. Last Thursday, with Friday being closed for Good Friday, they gave out over 2,000 meals for those 2 days for our students. And I can't thank them enough for their dedication, standing out there in the rain, meeting every car coming in with a wonderful greeting. We miss you, but also here's a meal to sustain you for the next couple of days. Thank you very much for those volunteers. I want to thank Tim Collins, Dr. Collins out at Walsh University. He and I spoke about a month or so ago, thinking about what opportunities could we provide our community, especially our hospital communities, in regards to affordable housing for healthcare providers or professionals. Just this week, I know he was interviewed. And yes, Walsh University, Mount Union, and Malone University are all open now to help healthcare providers and workers with a alternative residence so that they do not have to go home and expose their own families to possibility of contracting coronavirus. Thank you, Dr. Collins, for what you're doing for our hometown university of Walsh University. Another thank you goes out, again, to our first responders, our policemen, police officers, firefighters, our dispatchers, and our paramedics for responding to the calls of service in a safe and timely manner. We're very fortunate that they're the first line of defense sometimes for us to prevent the spread of coronavirus. And again, our hearts and prayers go out to their service. Probably more uncalled for than ever before. So thank you for your call to service on that. I'd like to share something also from yesterday's conference from Governor DeWine's office. Lieutenant Governor Houston announced there are over 40,000 job postings on jobsearch.ohio.gov website for 642 unique companies. I know some of you are facing unemployment. Some of you have lost your jobs or are temporarily suspended or furloughed. Again, here's an opportunity. Just take a moment. Go in, check that website out. There might be something that you can qualify for or you could find employment for to get you through these tough times. So just want to share that with you. jobsearch.ohio.gov from Lieutenant Governor Houston. Recently, our residents should have received notification from Kimball Recycling and Disposal Company in regards to some adjustments that they're making in their pickup schedules. And again, due to the stay-at-home order and potential COVID-19 related labor shortages, Kimball must just adjust some of their routes and schedules to collect the large increase in their residential volumes. Folks, all they're asking is for your cooperation from their customers to help minimize the disruptions of their essential services. For example, starting this last Monday, on May the 13th, again, to protect their workers and avoid service disruptions, they were asking for our help by implementing several changes. They just want you to try to put as much yard waste or trash or garbage into the bin that you're provided for, into that cart. Recyclables go into recyclables. I understand again that this could be a little bit of a hardship for us because we are going into springtime and we're doing cleaning and yard cleaning and things like this. But again, all they're asking is voluntary cooperation of the customers to minimize these disruptions. So whatever you can fit into your trash can, try to fill that in. They want to have their workers avoid picking up trash bags that have been placed along the trash bins. And if they have to, they're going to use the arm so that it limits their contact, their workers' contact with the potential spread of coronavirus. And if you don't have a container, they're asking you to use 30-gallon Tide bags for pickup, and you're allowed to place out 3 for pickup. When it comes to your recyclables, my recommendation there again is they don't want us using bags in our recyclable bins. They want that to be bag-free. The bag, when it's collected and goes to the recycling location, the plastic bags either have to be torn apart, or if they get caught up in the machinery, it slows their process and could damage their machinery. Folks, when it comes to cans and bottles, just flatten, smash them down to fill every space or in that cart. These items, cannot be bagged. So use every space that you can. They don't want you to put out any bulk items at this time. If you have a bulk item, let's say like a headboard or something like that, if you can disassemble it and put the pieces and parts in that trash bin, then it could be picked up. But for right now, they want to put a hold on some of those bulk items. And there again, on yard waste, I know you're going to have things probably collecting over time. If it's bagged, maybe you can slowly just meter it out week after week. We do not have it was brought to my attention or question, why don't we have a roll-off available? Well, unfortunately, the city does not have any safe open space to establish or budget for or to operate a drop-off or community collection point for yard waste. We just don't have that. I know Plain Township does. I know Jackson Township has. But those are all regulated for their residents. Unfortunately, in our city, we just don't have that availability. And for me to place a roll-off for a waste container out for only our residents, again, how are we going to budget for that and then manage it 24 hours a day? And folks, I just really believe that people from all over the area, once we know we have that yard roll-off out there, people are just going to bring their own items there from outside of our city, and our residents won't be able to use it. And there again, we would probably have to be dumping that day after day, so we just can't do it at this time. I will say this, I know of one company out on Strasser who does recycling for yard waste, and you could, I'm going to share their name, Earth and Wood. I contacted them. They do handle yard waste. You can call their phone number and locate their prices and what they can do for recycling tree limbs, grass clippings, yard waste, things like that. And so that is available for you. And I've spoken with them and I've shared that information with other people. Their prices seem to be reasonable. And so there again, also, even though we have the stay-at-home order and we want you to avoid physical contact with other people, if you know somebody on your street and maybe their trash bin isn't always full, maybe it's just 2 people living there, you might be able to reach out to them and share your trash in each of those containers and so that it can be picked up. It's only a suggestion that came up to me. So I spent a lot of time on that, but I just want you to know, as far as I know, their schedules are not interrupted. They're trying to be on time. And again, they're dealing with stay-at-home orders for their employees also, and guarding against the spread of the coronavirus and then protecting their people. The other question came up about leaf pickup. And folks, we don't have anything for the springtime leaf pickup or trash pickup. I know in the fall we do, and we usually do that for 6 weeks. And that's where the paper bags are used. And yes, those are, that regular waste collection is usually in the fall for about 6 weeks. Again, they just don't want us to put items on the ground for their operators to have to get out of their vehicle, pick those up by hand. We just need you to think about this for the next month or so until we can see what happens as time goes on. So I thank you for your cooperation. I know Kimball will also. Some housekeeping things that I'd like to share is, excuse me. Okay, this one came up this week. With so many people being home and honoring the stay-at-home order, also you're encouraged to get out and exercise and walk in your neighborhood or on the Hoover Trail or our walking path at Price Park. Again, we want you to maintain physical distancing on that. But many of us, not for myself anymore, but some of our residents have pets and they want to walk their dogs. So the question came up, what is proper dog walking etiquette? And you have a mayor here that's going to share some recommendations that real quickly, always walk on a leash, be mindful of other dogs walking, cross the street when necessary, where necessary, with your dog on a leash, bring treats to distract your dog from other dogs or when necessary. And the big thing is, always bring a poop bag with you. I can't believe I'm having to address this at this time with everything that we have going on. But really, just for health and safety concerns, if you're walking your animal and it deposits, pick it up, okay? So other people don't have to see it, smell it, or encounter it, okay? Just use common sense when you're walking your pet. If you're gonna be out at night, make sure you're lit up. And remember, always keep safety first for you and your pet. So thank you for your time on dog walking etiquette. The question came up about recreational fire permit information. I contact our fire department, and once again, on their website, there's a full explanation on their recreational fire permit or fire permit information. Please understand this, that if you had a permit from last year, from 2019, that is extended to 2020. So you will not have to get another permit for this year. However, if you go on their website, there's a full explanation about that for you. And due to the COVID-19, no burn permits will be issued until further notice. So if you want to get on a list, you can call our permit department, put your name and phone number on there, that in the future you would like one. But right now, our inspectors are not going out, and again, to avoid the spread of coronavirus, they're not going out. And specifically, again, if you have any questions about a recreational fire permit registry, you can call 330-499-9999 3403, extension 1207. Again, that's 330-499-3403, extension 1207. Real quickly, for a recreational fire, for those who already have a permit, small backyard type fire, normally found at a campground, and the pile size can be 3 feet or less in diameter and 2 feet or less in height with containment. Wood must be dry and seasoned, and it should give off minimum smoke and odor. Again, that's a standard annual recreational burn permit is required for that. Now, if for some reason you're going to have a large outdoor fire utilized for ceremonial purposes or a barbecue pit, you'll need a special permit to be required for that. And prohibited in the city limits is a fire used to burn field grass, brush, or other yard waste, to include building materials or trash. Folks, that's all prohibited in the city limits. You can find more information on this on their website through the North Canton Police Department. If in the future you're available to secure a permit, just so you know, they're $10, and it goes from January 1 through December 31st. But again, so just so you know, permits that you had in 2019 are good for 2020. Folks, just be careful when you're having a recreational fire on your property. This question came up, sidewalk obstructions. People are out walking, exercising, running, walking their pets, walking with family, loved ones, meeting friends along the way, hopefully practicing social distancing. But there again, some of our sidewalks can be blocked off with trash and things like that, which is unacceptable. We want to keep them open and safe for our pedestrians to be out there. So no person shall place or knowingly drop upon any part of a sidewalk, playground, or other public place any tacks, bottles, wire, glass, nails, or other articles which may damage property of another or injure any person or animal traveling along on such sidewalk or playground. So please, no person shall walk or allow any animal or injure or deface in any way any soft or newly laid pavement. Well, we don't have any newly laid pavement just yet, but it's probably becoming with springtime. So there again, just be careful, keep our sidewalks clear, free from weeds, cut down the edges and things like that. And we just want you to be careful with our sidewalks and not have them blocking the traffic of people. Okay, this one also. Obstructions on lawn strips and lawn debris in the streets and gutters. As spring comes along and we have our rains and things, quite often debris is washed out into the street and it ends up in our gutters and going down to our basins for removal. Sometimes that gets collected with debris and from yard clippings, and especially grass clippings and things like this. So folks, in order to help us and our street department, if you can, after you cut your grass or you do your trimming, please just keep your grass clippings, try to sweep them all up and put them and collect them and dispose of them properly so that we aren't having our drains blocked and backing up from loose debris. We've had a couple serious rainfalls and it's springtime and we might get a few of those, but you would certainly help all of us out here in the city if you would be willing to clean up your yards after mowing your grass and things like that. So just want you to keep that in mind. I mentioned something earlier about physical distancing, and in a conversation and exchange of ideas and perspectives with Dr. Tim Collins, he shared something that I thought was very good and something to think about. Rather than using the term social distancing, maybe we should really think about physical distancing. Let me share his comments with you on that. He comments, social distancing as a concept is the notion that we can reduce the spread of the coronavirus if we are mindful of our personal space. It's been applied in helping to flatten the curve, but the implementation has crippled our ability to remain connected with each other. He suggests we consider no longer using social distancing, but replace this phrase with physical distancing and personal connections. Understandably, physical distancing is a key factor in helping us stop the spread of COVID-19. So in that endeavor, I say let us work together and keep up our personal connections with our family, our loved ones, and our friends. Because personal connections is a key element in us to get through this crisis that we're going through. And it can be very stressful, especially if you're home alone or a senior is by themselves, isolated in their rooms, all for the good of stopping the spread of COVID-19. All I'm asking you to do is call 5 people today, or every day, or every other day. Just check in, see how they're doing. Maybe they need something at the pharmacy or at the market. Maybe there is a branch that fell down in the yard and they could use a little cleanup. And a little physical activity can go a long way. But just knowing that people care about each other is important. Also, I want you to know that we have a lot of projects going forward. We may be in a time of uncertainty, but I am so focused on trying to help for the future betterment of our community that better days are ahead of us. Be patient. We're working on projects. You probably just heard about one that we're working on now with the Kmart property. I'm so very excited about that we have a chance to control our destiny and avoid the stagnation that I see across the street behind my office here, or your office, the office of the mayor. So we have a great future ahead of us. I know we have challenges. We're working through those. It takes a lot of cooperation and patience for us to get beyond this, but I know the future is going to be brighter for us. I am confident about that. But with your help and support and community involvement, we're gonna make this happen, and our city is going to come out better for it, and we're going to make it attractive. We're going to make it a destination for families to come and live, work, retire, and recreate here. So please be patient. Better days are ahead of us, and I just want you all to stay safe and keep well, and we'll see how long the stay-at-home order continues. Again, I have some things closed for the city, and that's for a reason. On a side note, one more thing. Folks, you gotta practice the physical distancing. I don't have my mask on today. I have one in the car, I keep one here. When I'm out in the public, I'll wear my mask, okay? Just to be safe. But I know we have people still on the tennis courts and the pickleball courts. And folks, use common sense in protecting yourselves from each other. I'm trying to keep some form of recreation open for you, but I don't want to have to take the steps to close anything more than I have to protect ourselves and yourselves from the spread of coronavirus. So please use common sense in keeping physical distancing if you're participating in any kind of activity that's outside. I want to thank you for your time and your patience with me this morning, that we're gonna get through this. Just be patient, stay safe, and keep well. Thank you for the privilege of your time this morning. Take care.